In the summer of 1937, Amelia Earhart, already a global aviation icon, embarked on a daring journey. Her mission? To become the first woman to circumnavigate the globe by airplane, flying along the equator. For years, Earhart had captured the world's imagination with her groundbreaking flights and fearless spirit, pushing the limits of what was thought possible in aviation. But what began as an inspiring feat of ambition and determination ended in one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. This is the story of Amelia Earhart's final flight. Amelia Mary Earhart wasn't always a world-famous aviator. Born on July 24, 1897, in the quiet town of Atchison, Kansas, she grew up with a rebellious spirit and an insatiable curiosity for the world around her. Earhart's childhood was far from traditional. Her mother believed in raising her daughters to be independent, not conforming to society's expectations of proper young ladies. But it wasn't until 1920 that Earhart's true calling took flight. That year, she took her first ride in an airplane, and in that brief moment, everything changed. By the time I had gotten 200 or 300 feet off the ground, I knew I had to fly, she later recalled. From that point, Earhart was unstoppable. She saved up money, took flying lessons, and bought her first plane, a bright yellow biplane she affectionately named the Canary. By 1932, Earhart had already made history as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. The world couldn't get enough of her daring spirit, and she became a symbol of courage and independence. She shattered aviation records, setting the stage for her most ambitious mission, yet an around-the-world flight. In June 1937, Earhart, alongside her skilled navigator Fred Noonan, embarked on what was meant to be her greatest achievement, a flight around the world along the equator. Their aircraft, a twin-engine Lockheed Electra 10E, was one of the most advanced of its time. Loaded with the latest navigation technology, it seemed perfectly suited for the ambitious flight plan that would take them across 29,000 miles. From Miami, the duo successfully crossed South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By July 1, 1937, they reached Lae, Papua New Guinea. With only one final critical leg remaining crossing the vast Pacific Ocean, their goal was almost in sight. The next destination was Howland Island, a minuscule speck in the Pacific, where the U.S. Coast Guard vessel Itasca awaited to guide them in by radio. The flight from Lae to Howland Island was no ordinary hop. It was the most dangerous segment of their journey, 4,100 kilometers of nothing but ocean, with Howland Island, a mere 1.5 miles long, awaiting at the end. On July 2nd, Earhart and Noonan took off, navigating the vast, empty skies. At first, radio transmissions between the Electra and the Itasca were clear. But as they approached the island, something went wrong. Communications became spotty and filled with static. At 7:42 a.m. local time, Earhart's voice came through. "We must be on you, but cannot see you." Her last known transmission came at 8:43 a.m. "We are running on line 157337. We are flying north and south." And then, silence. Despite extensive search efforts by the U.S. Navy, spanning 250,000 square miles of ocean, no sign of Earhart, Noonan, or the plane was ever found. The official explanation was that they ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific. But the world wasn't satisfied with that conclusion. For decades, the mystery of Earhart's disappearance has fueled countless theories. One of the most widely accepted is the Nikumaroro hypothesis. This theory suggests that instead of crashing into the ocean, Earhart and Noonan made an emergency landing on Gardner Island, now known as Nikumaroro, part of the Phoenix Islands. In 1940, bones and artifacts were found on the island. Bones initially misidentified as belonging to a man. However, a 2017 reanalysis concluded that the bones could very well have belonged to a woman of Earhart's stature. Supporting this theory are the remains of a 1930s-style women's shoe, fragments of a navigational sextant box, and a piece of plexiglass believed to have come from an aircraft window. More compelling is that radio transmissions, believed to have come from Earhart's plane, were heard by operators and amateur radio enthusiasts in the days following her disappearance. Could she and Noonan have survived for a time on this remote island, desperately sending out distress calls? The Nikumaroro hypothesis isn't the only theory that holds weight. Another popular theory is that Earhart's plane strayed far off course and ended up in the Marshall Islands, which were under Japanese control at the time. According to this theory, Earhart and Noonan were captured by the Japanese and either executed or held as prisoners of war. Eyewitness accounts from islanders in the Marshall Islands claim to have seen Earhart's plane crash, and some even claim to have seen her alive, taken into Japanese custody. This theory was sensationalized in the 2017 History Channel documentary Amelia Earhart, The Lost Evidence, where researchers claim to have found a photo showing Earhart and Noonan on a dock in the Marshall Islands. However, the credibility of this photo was quickly debunked when it was revealed that the image had been published years before Earhart's flight. In 2019, renowned ocean explorer Robert Ballard, famous for discovering the Titanic, set out on a mission to locate Earhart's plane near Nikumaroro. Using advanced underwater sonar and robotics, his team combed the seafloor around the island, but no plane wreckage was found. While the mission didn't yield definitive results, the search continues, driven by the hope that someday we may find concrete evidence of what happened. In January 2024, an intriguing new lead emerged when Deep Sea Vision, a marine exploration company, reported finding sonar images of what could potentially be Earhart's Lockheed Electra near Howland Island. The object, resting at a depth of 5,000 meters, has reignited speculation. Could this be the wreckage we've been searching for all these years? The crucial question remains unanswered. What really happened to Amelia Earhart? Did she crash into the vast Pacific Ocean, or did she manage to survive as a castaway on a remote island? Could it have been a critical radio failure? Or was it simply the misfortune of missing her destination by mere miles? Whether we ever find out the fate of Amelia Earhart, one thing is certain. Her legacy as a pioneer of aviation endures. Earhart shattered records, defied the limits of early aviation technology, and embraced the spirit of exploration at a time when flight was still a daring venture. She became an icon, not just for her aviation achievements, but for her fearless spirit and refusal to be limited by society's expectations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more perilous quests. Got an epic journey in mind that you think deserves the spotlight? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and remember, as Amelia herself once said, adventure is worthwhile in itself.